Hey,
Yeah,
everybody,
sure.
welcome to the Tuesday preview comic book stream, whatever we call this. I'm Aaron. This is Susie. Very happy to
Hello.
have Susie back on the stream. We're going to talk about some comics that come out tomorrow. I don't know about you, Susie, but I think I told you beforehand. This is going to be kind of a goofy stream. We're having a
Yeah.
goofy stream. I normally I try to read like a decent amount of books before we
Yeah.
do this so that I can speak on them like intelligently
Yeah.
with an air of authority even.
Of course.
And I barely had got any of them read this week. I think I read like two or three books, but the rest of them I barely even flipped through.
Ah,
So we're gonna have just a goofy time,
just flipping
just
through
flipping
comics.
through stuff. But I want there's like a lot coming out tomorrow to talk about. So we're just gonna do what we always do and jump right in.
Dive right in. Let's do it.
But you know what we like to start with.
Oh,
That is the facsimiles, and there are actually several facsimiles I have to show
oh
off.
my goodness.
The first one is X Men, Uncanny X Men. This is number 134. Don't have a whole lot to say about this other than I'm just glad that Marvel is reprinting the original Dark Phoenix saga. This is, of course, is just one of the best X Men stories of all time. Great John Byrne art, classic Chris Claremont story that was after the fact realized that it was a lot of it was lifted from the TV show The Avengers. I'm sure you remember watching The Avengers back in the 60s when you were a kid,
Yeah,
Susie.
what a classic moment that
Not
was.
to be confused with Marvel's The Avengers. I think that's what most people think of
You
when
know.
they think of The Avengers. But no, Emma Peel. It was a British show, and
Ah,
there was an episode with the Hellfire Club, and it
what?
was like, have you actually never heard this?
No.
Oh no, you should look it up. It's like the whole episode, like there's a secret society called the Hellfire Club, and the whole organization of it is exactly like what Chris Claremont put in the comic, where it's like the Emma Peel, I think, becomes the Black Queen or the White Queen. There's they're all set up exactly like that,
Yeah.
and he just lifted the idea wholesale. I mean, I think it works really well, like because again, it was a different time. It was the '70s,
Right.
and it's like
And you
that
could
was
get away with it a bit more back then.
yeah, and also I do think there was a sense of recontextualizing it into the X-Men world with
Sure.
mutants and stuff. It's not just British spies and stuff, but it's still interesting to see if you've never heard that. Just like look it up, and you're just like, oh wow, like even the whole dominatrix outfit for Jean Grey is like in that
Straight up
episode.
from that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So, but still, regardless of that, still one of my absolute favorite X Men
Yes.
comics of all time. Also coming out tomorrow. This is actually probably the facsimile I'm probably most excited about. Maybe it is
Oh.
Brave and the Bold number 60. I love me some good Silver Age comics. This is okay. Camera's getting focused there. This is the first appearance of Wonder Girl, I think, or it's the first time she joins the Teen Titans. It's the second appearance of the Teen Titans, and this is, I believe, it's from 1960.
The astounding separated man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the comics were
Got the
wild back
power of
then.
divorce.
Yeah, but the one thing that I always like to say when I talk about DC's facsimiles is that the quality of their facsimiles is just incredible. Just I love that it's on like it really is a facsimile of newsprint. The colors look like the original colors, how they would have appeared in the original issue. Yeah, really, really cool comics. So very excited for that. Because I think I've said this before. If
Yeah.
Marvel just committed to just reprinting all of their Silver Age books as like a month, if they just started like
Yeah.
Fantastic Four one, Amazing Spider-Man one, I'd probably be buying them every month, like all of them, just because. I like old stuff, and I like comic books. Okay, some more facsimiles. This one actually released on Friday for Superman Day. This is a facsimile reprint of Action Comics number one. Not the first time they've ever done this, but what's really cool about this, as you can see, is that it's the original Golden Age size. It's a little bit bigger.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
It's bigger than the standard comic book because, like, here we'll even compare it to the Silver Age. Like this is actually even probably this one is probably a little bit smaller than it would have been back in the 1960s because over time comics have shrunk, And back in the 1940s, they were as big as magazines, and then they kind of keep getting smaller and smaller until you get to the size that they are today. So a lot of
Is the ratio different? Like, did they draw at a different?
yes, they did, and like you can kind of see that. Like there's just more of like it's a little bit wider.
Yeah, interesting.
Like you like can compare it to a Superman for All Seasons here. Like you can just see that like this is the standard like 11 by
11:17
17, and then
ratio.
this one's a little bit wider. Um,
Wild.
yeah, and so that's why like reprints of this, you'll often see it'll be kind of like shrunk down, and there's like these huge margins on the page to make it fit. But yeah, so it's really cool that they did this reprint of Action Comics #1, the original size that it would have been back in 19 what year?
Huh?
When did Action Comics come out?
Oh wow.
1938.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I know you were. There were also several special releases for Superman Day. We kind of just showed a few of them. These are some freebies that are out there. There's a first issue of Superman for All Seasons, All Star Superman, one of my favorite Superman comics of all time. And there is also this Jimmy Olsen Super Encyclopedia issue. We still have some of these in the store. If you didn't make it out for Superman Day on Friday, we do still have some of these freebies. So you can just come in, swing by, and pick
swing
them up.
by, check out the All Star Superman because that's
Mhm.
what they're basing the new
That's what I've
DC
heard.
universe about.
You know, James Gunn, all he had to do was say All Star Superman, and I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention now.
Cautiously optimistic.
Right, right. Um, I have one more book here that's like kind of a facsimile. It's weird, and if you know what book I'm talking about, you'll understand what I mean. I am, of course, talking about Rob Liefeld's Youngblood Deluxe. Now, you might see this on the shelf and be like, where did this come from? What is this? Youngblood came out 40 something years ago, and this is a new printing of a version that he did. I don't remember what year this originally came out, maybe 20 something years ago. This is a version of the book. It's the original issue, as I understand it. It's the original issue 1, but it was rewritten by Joe Casey. So they took the original art and just added all new dialogue.
Interesting.
Yes, which is like really, it is actually really interesting. And I think it's really cool that he did that. It is unfortunately another unfinished Rob Liefeld project. I don't think it ever got a proper ending. I honestly I don't remember too much of this. I know it came out, and I know I thought it was cool, but that's about as far as my memory goes. So I am actually interested to reread this. But I mean, it's cool. I'm glad that it's in print again, and I hope this means that they will like give it a proper finish, because Joe Casey, I think you've been on some of the streams that I've talked about. Joe Casey is currently writing a book called Blood Squad 7.
Oh, yes.
And I really like that book. And Blood Squad 7 is Joe Casey's version of Youngblood, because Youngblood isn't a part of the Image universe anymore.
Yeah.
And so he's like trying to fill that hole that Youngblood left by making this book called Blood Squad 7. So maybe with this being back in print, maybe we'll get to see it kind of continue.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can tell, if you can't tell, I'm still getting over a bit of a head cold, so I'm doing my best not to cough into the microphone. So I might actually have to have Susie take over talking on some of these books. That is all the facsimiles. I know Susie hasn't read it; she doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
But it'll be exciting. Also coming out tomorrow is Batman #159. Hush. Yes, you gotta say it quietly.
Yeah.
This is the second issue of Hush 2. They are also releasing the giant oversized version.
Huge.
Which this is printed. I mean, you want to talk about the difference in Golden Age comics? This is printed at the original art size. So
we did
this
not
is...
bring a banana for scale.
No, we didn't.
How could we do this?
I bought like.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just like flip.
It's like a poster.
Look at this double page spread here.
It's huge.
Very, very cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Hush comic, so I haven't even read the first issue of the second one. I did buy the first Batman 158, the oversized one, just because of the novelty of it.
You're not going to have the boxes for these.
I don't think I can afford to buy the whole series in oversized issues. Like it was neat having the one as a
Right.
novelty, but they're $15
Are they
each.
gonna keep going?
They're
Like,
doing the whole series in this oversized format.
oh man,
So
who wants to spend $15 on a comic?
I know. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, I do. I spend $15 on comics all the time, but like it's really really cool, and I really really like that they're doing it. But I'm definitely not gonna be able to buy all of them because especially for a series that I'm not reading. If
Right.
it was a series I was reading, I'd be buying them in a heartbeat.
Sure. Like if the Transformers was printed
Oh
at
my
that
god.
time, dude, it'd be
Yeah,
over.
you are correct about that. But yeah, so if you've been excited about Hush, second issue comes out tomorrow, and also you can get the oversized issues. Okay, Susie, talk about this comic.
Ah, okay. So the next comic we're going to be talking about is The Turtles of Grayskull #4, and I just think that this is a very neat
Do
comic. And wow, look at her.
you know who that is?
Um, Miss
Oh, you're so close.
Clocksworth.
It's it's something like that. Uh, yeah, this is a cool comic. I think I've talked about the last couple of issues. It's been a big wait between these issues, but I like this series. It's written by Tim Seeley, art by Freddie Williams. Really cool looking book. I think I make this joke all the time because the really popular Ninja Turtle series right now is the Ninja Turtles and Naruto crossover, and everybody's really excited about that because that's an obvious crossover. But for me, the obvious crossover is Ninja Turtles and He-Man. Susie, were you a big He-Man fan when you were a kid?
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Huge, yeah. You didn't like She-Ra, Princess of Power?
She's pretty neat, with like the hair.
Yeah, the thing. Oh, actually, while we're talking about this, there is this amazing variant cover for Turtles of Grayskull that I'm definitely getting by Michelle FIFA, who is the creator of Copra. And I've been talking about that comic a lot. I'm just going to put this on the downward camera just to show it off. Like, that is a rad, rad cover.
That's pretty sick.
I love Copra. I've been talking about Death of Copra as that's been coming out. So yeah, awesome. There's actually been some incredible variant covers for this Turtles of Grayskull comic series, but I'm really excited. I haven't even flipped through this issue. That was the most I've seen of it when you flipped through it just now.
Yeah.
Very excited to read it.
And I'm working with that colorist. He's pretty neat.
Oh, is that Andrew Dollhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just saw his sample.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
He's doing a good job on the thing that he's working on that you can't talk about.
Yes.
That's very, very cool. Okay, also coming out tomorrow. Oh man, I
tried to flip through to see if there's any that I could actually talk about, but it's really
That's
just
okay.
your
That's okay. You're here.
target audience.
You're here just to.
I'll eventually be able to talk about this if you need a break.
Let's talk about it right now.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Do you need a break? A vocal
No,
break?
I'll
This
be
is a
fine.
huge stack to get through.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll just blast through them all real quick. I won't even talk. We'll just mime it.
Well, super quick. I haven't been able to read too much of the series, but it is another Rick and Morty one. Shocking coming from me. But I do love any project that Mark Ellerby is working on. He is like one of my favorite Rick and Morty artists, just because he is able to capture the style, but adding in his own like brand of craziness and being able to stretch the characters in new ways.
This one's all like wrestling themed.
Yes, so this one is themed around the fact that Morty gets super into like the intergalactic WrestleMania, basically. And so they decide to travel to that planet in order to check it out, that Federation. And Jerry decides to accidentally sign this contract with an energy drink company, and he is now locked into a terrible contract that they have to fight their way out of. And so I just think that it's really bombastic. Mark Ellerby does like an awesome job with these characters. He's been doing it for like a decade now, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the colors look amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And
hey,
what's in there?
You know who else is doing a comic about intergalactic wrestlers?
What are the odds?
Yeah, that's it. You played a mean prank on me, Susie. It's actually a good prank because I forgot to talk about this. But yeah, I also have a comic book called Hamlet Mania that's on Kickstarter right now. 2 more days left to fund this book. But it's, I can't really say it's the same as Rick and Morty, but it is probably as ridiculous in its own way. I don't know. You've you're familiar with both, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that assessment?
Oh, for sure. And I think his style is even cooler. Like,
Oh, I won't say it. Don't let your editors at Oni hear you say that.
No, yeah.
But
I love
I
how
absolutely agree.
I love
Greg.
his art.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. Also coming out tomorrow. I had mixed feelings when I saw this on the shelf. Amazing Spider-Man #2 by Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz. Uh, the first issue came out 2 weeks ago, and I talked about it on the stream. I thought it was pretty good. It was nice for Spider-Man to kind of get back into the groove. It was definitely like a back to basics Spider-Man story. And then here we are 2 weeks later, and there's another issue, and I don't know if I want to commit to a twice a month Spider-Man book. That's I hate to gripe on this, but it's $5 an issue.
Oh
And
man.
I'm a cheapskate, and also
Mister, I always spend $15.
I know. Well, on books that I really want. Uh, there's a lot of books coming out tomorrow that we're going to talk about. But yeah, so I was like getting a little excited. I was like, oh, it's nice to have a monthly Spider-Man book that's like really really good.
Yeah.
But man, I'm like, if it's going to be twice a month, like that's I don't know, that's a lot. I'm still getting caught up on books from 2 weeks ago that I'm still trying to read that I haven't got caught up on. So it's really easy to fall behind. That being said, I didn't read this issue entirely, but I flipped through it and I read a few scenes. It looks good, so I'll give them credit. They're putting out a really quality book, which if you've watched this stream before, it is not something that I say often about Marvel these days. So I am happy to see that they're doing a good Spider-Man book.
And then something that's really funny about this cover too is I was helping Abby figure out the new system that we are implementing into our store, the new point of sale system. And we were trying to figure out how to put these series on hold for customers. And so you could see the little icon of the cover. And she was like, "Oh, do you mind like looking up like what this new series is?" So I was like, "Yeah, it's Spider-Man swinging through the city. That's what's going to be on the cover."
That's what's the cover,
And
sure.
Like, wow,
but yeah,
so
nobody.
much.
No Spider-Man cover has ever had Spider-Man swinging through the city on it before.
Clear as day.
Very clear. Okay. There's another Spider-Man book coming out tomorrow. Let me see if I can find it. My stack is in complete disarray, but I think that's another thing too, where I saw that and I was just like, oh man, Marvel's like going full Batman with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man in the
Predator versus Spider-Man. I know a lot of people are pretty excited about this one.
And is this the City Hunter because he's got like the little fishnets?
It looks like Predator 2
that
Predator.
Brand.
Yeah, although he doesn't. I don't think he has the dreadlocks that Predator 2 had. But this is written by Benjamin Percy, who he's written all of the Predator versus books for Marvel, and art by Marcelo Ferreira. Another good looking book from Marvel. I like this splash page; is really beautiful.
That's really pretty.
And yeah, it's pretty much what you would expect from a setup. I don't want to spoil the cool moment, but yeah, there's it's Spider-Man versus Predator, and
what more could you ask for?
Right. I do recommend it though.
Does he have that little like crescent whatever that he throws, and it's like a miracle, like it's like that little ninja star that just like.
You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
I'll explain that.
Okay. Susie, talk about this comic.
Okay. We are going to talk about Peacemaker presents Vigilante Eagly double feature.
Boom.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that. Isn't that amazing?
I actually like this cover a lot.
I like that eagle. I'm just going like yoink. Oh my god, look at the little.
Yeah. This is a good cover. It's like a transformer or something.
Yes. Well, if there's anything like the Peacemaker series, then you know it's going to be just like a heck of a time. That is not the style of comic that I anticipated.
Yeah, especially from that cover.
The cover.
So this is this series. We talked about issue 1 when it came out last month. It's not written by, but its story consultant is James Gunn, but it's written by Tim Seeley, who is like the guy.
He's been keeping busy.
This dude writes everything these days, and he's a guy that I really like too. But art is by Mitch Gerrits, and he definitely has a real like photorealistic style. which works when you're doing a book that's based off a TV show.
Oh, I remember you pointing out the
Hmm.
John Cena panels last issue.
Yeah. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Pardon.
You didn't see it, but he coughed like right in my face.
just like spewed all that phlegm right on her. No, I like Mitch is a good artist, but sometimes I find it a little distracting, like how perfectly he captures like an actor's visage, their face. Like
Right.
it's definitely a choice. It's definitely a style, but it's a fun story. I like it a lot. I liked Vigilante in the Peacemaker show. He was, I thought, one of the standout parts of it, which is ironic because like I do sort of feel like Vigilante in the TV show was just them doing their version of Deadpool, and I'm so sick of Deadpool these days. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it just worked for me with Vigilante.
Interesting.
But then there's also a second story arc. This issue has two stories in it. The second one is about Eagly, and I like this one a lot too, just because Eagly's a fun character, and I think that is also something that's kind of unique to the show.
It's part of the reason why I was disappointed in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or like
Mhm.
the Falcon in general. Like they didn't give him that telepathic bird.
Yeah, yeah.
They just made it like a drone. But I was like, think of how much like merch you could have sold if like Red Wing actually was like a cool.
I mean, they beat him
bird.
to the punch. Like
Right?
Peacemaker, like they could have done it first, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And
And now we're selling the eagle.
we have
Plush.
a stuffed Eagly plush in the store. Also coming out tomorrow. There's two GI Joe books. I'm so blessed.
Oh my
Hashtag
god.
blessed. There is the GI Joe from the Energon universe, and then GI Joe: A Real American Hero, the Silent Missions issue. You know what? I don't even know. Do I really even need to flip through these? You guys know how much I love GI Joe. I like that they're doing these silent issues a whole lot. This issue in particular is about Roadblock, which is particularly funny to me that it's a silent issue because the thing he's known for the most in the cartoon, not in the comic though, but in the cartoon, is that he speaks in rhyme, and it's like one of those weird character quirks.
I think it's funny they don't have a letterer at all for this. Like not even for like the
Nope.
onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeias. It's complete. I think I guess that's an artistic choice, but in this one, no, there's none.
Wild.
It's completely silent, and it is it's an homage to the classic GI Joe issue number 21,
Yes.
which was the famous silent issue.
And we just had like a facsimile reprint of that.
That's right. Yep, we did. And so they're doing a 5-issue series that's just a silent issue about each issue is like a solo silent story about a different Joe.
That's cool.
So like we talked about, the first one they did was Beachhead, which is like my favorite GI Joe, and then there was Jinx, who is also a cool lady ninja.
Real quick, did you say there's different Joes? I thought there was just the one.
What, are you pranking me right now?
I don't actually know any. I just thought it was like, okay.
Okay. If you ever watched the cartoon, you would know it starts with GI Joe is the code name of the Special Elite Force, yada 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 yada. GI Joe is just like the team name. Now, to be fair, the original name came from a toy in the 70s called GI Joe, who was a single action figure character.
Gotcha.
And he was just like I don't want to say generic military guy.
Sure.
But it was like GI Joe, get your Army Man toy,
Yes.
Army Man doll. And then they expanded that with like the Marine GI Joe and like the Scuba GI Joe, and then they rebooted it in 1982 with GI Joe: A Real American Hero, and they incorporated a lot of comic book elements into it. And
I am genuinely learning this for the first time.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Larry Hama, the writer who worked at Marvel at the time, he took his rejected pitch for a Nick Fury series and reworked it into GI Joe. So it was Nick Fury and Shield versus Hydra, and he just like reformatted it to GI Joe
brand.
and Cobra.
What?
Yeah. So that's where GI Joe: A Real American Hero comes from. And the new series that's part of the Energon universe, issue number 6, also comes out tomorrow, and this is one of my favorite comic books currently releasing.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Tom Riley is actually probably my favorite artist working for the big two for sure. And oh man, look at this cool Cobra Commander thing going on here.
That's
Oh, I don't even
incredible.
want to spoil it for myself. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. All right.
You have quite the stack.
I do. I know. Oh man, let's. Okay. Absolute Wonder Woman comes out tomorrow. I am behind on my Absolute Wonder Woman. I can't even talk about this. Have you read any Absolute Wonder Woman?
Oh, I haven't read since issue one.
So this. Oh my goodness, I'm trying. I'm doing my best not to cough in your face. But I really enjoy this book. I actually do think this is one of the best Absolute books coming out right now. I haven't read the last issue, so I can't talk about this one. My actual favorite Absolute book, though,
Yes.
is Absolute Martian Manhunter. Have you read this one?
Not the second one.
Did you read the first one?
I did.
Did you like it?
I really liked it.
It's really good. Issue 2 also really good. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. All right, that's number 2. Keep a count of how many times I cough in Susie's face. This issue, we kind of see him like embracing his like weird Martian Manhunter status, where he's like it's still really surreal. Like the story, you don't really know what's going on, but it's like he's like kind of possessed by the spirit of the Martian Manhunter, but you don't know if that's like just his Martian subconscious trying to like explain things to him. And then there's a villain, so there's a whole situation where he like uses his new powers to kind of confront a villain.
And I did read, I forget if it was either the artist or the writer, but
Mhm.
they are known in the past for like smoking a little bit. Won't say of what, but you can see a lot of elements of just like distortion with the smoke itself.
Yes,
in
yeah,
this
that's
series.
definitely a part of the story. I mean, I think if you don't see it here, that was definitely in that previous page where like his psychic powers kind of manifest in this like weird visual smoke, and it's like how he's like hearing and seeing things, and that's a visual representation of his psychic powers from being Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
So yeah, really really good. If you haven't picked this one up, I highly recommend it. It's actually my favorite Absolute book.
Yeah.
Also coming out tomorrow. Don't have a lot to say because I haven't read it, but Deadpool Wolverine. I'm enjoying this one. This is by Ben Percy, who's
Yeah.
also writing a lot of stuff at Marvel. But this is one of many Deadpool Wolverine comics that are out right now, which should surprise nobody. But I really like the artist on this one, Joshua Cassara, I think is how it's pronounced. And just he draws like, I think I like it because he draws a cool gritty Wolverine, and like Wolverine's not too like, well, first of all, he's not too tall. Everybody wants to draw him tall, and they just get that wrong. But they also just draw him like, I don't know, like he's just got a little bit of grit to him.
You
He's not
have to
too
be
clean.
able to launch him in the fastball special.
Exactly.
It's got to be slightly
yeah.
smaller, kind of like Air Force pilots.
But yeah, exactly. And this issue is basically just Deadpool and Wolverine versus zombies, which I'm down for. And I think what I've said about this story, I like it because it brings a little bit of edge back to Deadpool, because he was originally a villain, and he was just like the wacky, crazy, like psychopath, and that was his whole shtick. And then they made him like the wacky, crazy, funny, silly guy who wants to be good, but he's just crazy, and sometimes he kills people, and he's LOL so random.
The manic pixie.
Yeah,
girl,
he's like
RIC.
the boy version of that.
Yes.
But so I like that like after the success of this movie, they've been doing a lot of Deadpool Wolverine comics, and some writers have been using that opportunity to like bring Deadpool a little bit of his edge back, a little bit of his villainy. So that's been really good. Also coming out tomorrow, Dust to Dust #5. This series has just been plowing through, and that was a pun because this series takes place in Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl. And
I remember when we were talking about the first issue of this. Yeah, it's just gorgeous art.
Beautiful, beautiful art. This is the great J.G. Jones, one of my favorite artists, and it's all stylized in this like sepia tone because, like I said, it takes place during the Great Depression, and there's just like color used sparingly for like specific
like
things.
Pops.
Really, really good. This issue has a lot of some flashbacks. One of the main characters, he was in World War I, and so there's like some story there. But if you haven't checked this out, highly recommend it. Really good. Also coming out tomorrow is Assorted Crisis Events number 2.
The first issue is really good in
We,
this one,
yeah,
so I'm
we
curious.
did you read the first issue?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was incredible. Like it's just this benign story of her like trying to fix her
Hmm.
clock and then like going through all these crazy shenanigans. And it's always hard to tell if it's like part of like the movie set that's around her apartment or if it's like actual like craziness happening around her.
Yeah, this issue has something very similar because again, it's kind of an anthology series where each issue is about a single person and how they're dealing with all these like weird crisis, like superhuman
Events.
event, like Crisis on Infinite Earths types of things. And this issue, as you can tell from the cover, it has dinosaurs in it. So
Nice.
I haven't even read it yet, and it's already probably my favorite
I
book
saw
that comes out this week.
dinosaurs and Jesus and
Yeah, yeah,
oh man.
yeah. There's some imagery going on here: Jesus on the cross and a slaughterhouse with a bull. Yeah, this is a really really good book. It's written by Denise Camp, and the art is by Eric Zawodzki, who I'm not familiar with, but looks great. I really like it. If you haven't read this yet, definitely check it out. I think we might have sold out of issue 1, but there should be a second printing out,
Yes.
and I definitely recommend it. Also coming out tomorrow, I've talked about this book a lot. Bug Wars. Haven't had a chance to read this issue, but this is a great book by Jason Aaron and Muhammad Asrar, and this is basically just Honey I Shrunk the Kids meets Conan the Barbarian, and I love it. A little kid like magically gets shrunk down to like this barbarian bug world, and the last issue had one of my favorite panels in the world, which is all the bugs. They build an effigy of what they call like the destroyer or something like that,
Oh no.
and the effigy is the main kid, the character. It's his older brother with a lawnmower, and they're like their whole like goal is to just destroy the kill the destroyer or whatever.
Sure.
Because he just runs over and destroys their whole land with the lawnmower,
Yes.
and it's kind of funny. But it's really really good. It's gritty like a Conan book, but it's got kind
Yeah.
of this fun of a Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Like it's almost like an what is that? It's not quite an isekai or isekai,
Okay.
because he is in another world, but it's
Right.
not like he is in a fantasy world, but there's that. It's not like he like dies and wakes up.
Right.
You know.
It does kind of remind me of I don't know, I don't remember the name of the series, but Rick and Morty had a spin-off where it's
Hmm.
focused on this alien family and it's very like even more of like a comedy, doesn't really have a story behind it, but the show has this kind of like side story going on where the alien kids keep like shrinking human beings and like
Oh,
putting
okay.
it in like their little human zoo
Oh.
and like it becomes this massive like multi-season epic behind this like stupid comedy show. Like
Yeah,
people have been begging for like this side story to become its own thing, and
that's
it's
funny.
exactly like that. Like there's like political intrigue. There's like I don't know. It just gives me those vibes.
Yeah. Well, I definitely check out Bug Wars if you haven't yet. It is really good. Man, there's like so many books coming out. All right. I'm going to talk about a few things that were in my poll just because I don't want to talk about them in too much depth. There are 2 Superman books coming out tomorrow. We have Superman 25, sort of an anniversary issue of Joshua Williamson's run. And I have been enjoying this comic quite a bit. As you can see from the cover, it looks like Lex Luthor is embracing his evil roots. If you've been following the story, Susie, you would
Yes.
know that last year or so, Lex Luthor got amnesia. And he didn't remember anything about being evil, and he didn't know who he is. So
Of
he was
course.
kind of trying to be a good guy,
Yes.
but something's been slowly waking up in the
Oh
background, and
man,
that
it's
looks
all
like
nature
now
versus
he's
nurture.
going to be a bad guy again. And I will be honest, it's happening a little sooner than I probably would have expected normally, but there's a big crossover event coming this summer where it's the Legion of Doom, and so I have to imagine that this is going to influence that in some way. But I really, really have been enjoying the Superman series. Probably the first time I've really followed Superman as an ongoing since like the '90s with the Death of Superman thing.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
you spoke high praises of the last kind of tie-in issue to this series or whatever for Superman. Like whatever like came right before that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
Uh,
It was like focused on Apocalypse, I want to say, and like Apocalypse's ship. And you were saying that like, oh, this is the first time I've been like intrigued by Superman stories.
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Apocalypse is an X-Men villain.
Oops.
That's okay. I mean, they basically mean the same thing. Apocalypse and Doomsday. Sure.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Yeah. Doomsday. Because Doomsday's back again. Talking about revisiting that '90s theme and style.
Yes.
But another Superman book that comes out tomorrow, issue 3 of Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor, also a Lex Luthor focused book. This is by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. This is kind of one of those prestige out of continuity stories, but this has been really, really good. It's been several years in the making, and I'm glad it's finally coming out. The twist in the last issue was that Brainiac is behind it all, which is, I'll be honest, kind of it's not. I think that's been done before, kind of.
Yeah.
There was. I mean, I'm thinking of the Alan Moore Superman, the final. What is it? Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Uh, I know you haven't read it, Susie. That's okay. But that's
I'll disagree with you.
That's a story where Superman or like Lex Luthor was the villain, and then like Brainiac betrayed him. But then there was like another twist on top of that. So I haven't read this issue yet, so I don't know if there's going to be another twist on top of on this one. But it's really, really good, and I really like the basic premise from the first 2 issues. I guess I'll just flip through it.
Yeah.
Is that Lex Luthor is dying of cancer, and so he begs Superman to save his life, knowing that Superman, being the ultimate good guy, will not deny him. Like he will try to save him.
Yes.
And basically, everybody hates Superman for it because everybody hates Lex Luthor, and they're like, "Why would you try to save his life? He's a monster." And Superman's like, "Well, I have to because I'm Superman."
Sure.
And then like this issue, again, plot twist: Brainiac was behind it all, and I'm sure his whole plan will be revealed in this issue. Can't wait to read it. All right. Also coming out tomorrow. This is a book that's been in my pull, and I think I might be done with it.
Oh no.
I know. This is the Power Fantasy number 8. And I say I think I might be done with it because I haven't read number 7 yet. And I tried to flip through it, and I was just like, I just don't have I
The
just
bandwidth?
can't yeah, I don't have the bandwidth. As I said, there's a lot of books coming out, and I'm just trying to read a lot of stuff. And this has been a good book, but it's also been kind of, I think it's been a little hard to follow. There's been a lot of characters. It bounces all over the place in time. And like, as you can see, like here you have, yeah, 1999 Manchester, 1985 Brixton. Like,
Oh
it's like
man,
every
it really
scene
is
is
bouncing
like
around.
1989 London. Yeah, it's, and like the whole story kind of goes like that. And it looks great, and I really, really like. This is it's written by Kieran Gillen, and the art is by Caspar Wingard. It's a really good book, and I love the ideas behind it, which is basically, and this is sort of like a half joking, half insulting. It's like X-Men for adults.
Sure.
Like there's no, it's all about like people with superpowers and how they have to learn to coexist, but
Yeah.
they don't end up punching each other. They actually try to, it's,
Interesting.
solve the problems realistically, like without it turning into the equivalent of a nuclear holocaust.
Makes sense.
Whereas like in an X-Men book, it just ends with everybody punching each other, and,
Yeah.
and then there's a reset button. So I really, 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 really like what he's going for in this book, but like I feel like it won't be fully understood until you can just sit down and read the whole thing in one sitting, because
Oh.
there's a lot to take in. Also coming out tomorrow, one of my favorite books that's on the stands, Metamorpho. I know I have talked about this one a lot, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to say this is one of the best retro flavored books I think that I've read in a very, very long time. I really like that it every issue is like a one and done story, but
Nice.
then there's an ongoing uh, like threat in the background that they're
Sure.
building to. So
But you don't feel cheated where like a lot of comics these days will intentionally end on like some crazy cliffhanger just
yes, yeah,
because like you never get like that full like story within the issue anymore.
yeah, exactly, and that's what That's what this does so perfectly, is that there's like an A plot, like beginning, middle, and end, and then there's a B plot of some other stuff going on,
Yeah.
and then there's even a little bit of a C plot peppered in there. So this is by Al Ewing and Steve Lieber, who they're no strangers to doing like retro style books, but I really really like this book. Oh gosh, I just got a black. There we go. Ah, all right, we got a few more books.
Oh my goodness, so many.
One more that's in my regular pull. Again, haven't had a chance to read it, but The Mummy 2 comes out. I talked about issue 1 a lot. I really liked it. It's written and drawn by Faith Aaron Hicks, and it is really, really, really good. I like that it's a period piece, like it's set in 1932, so it's got that whole
That's pretty
like
cool. I like the art
classic.
for this one.
Yeah, she's a really good artist. Like again, like it's got some personality to it, and just like it embraces the kind of like retro or classic Universal Monsters style for the story. Again, like I said, it's set in 1932, so I really like the.
And the
I don't know,
colors really
just
capture that vibe as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like tonally, it's really good, and it's ultimately a kind of a character piece about um, the girl that's like the reincarnated spirit of this mummy's some relation to the mummy.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't read this issue yet, but I really like the first issue and I'm looking forward to it. All right, two more comics.
We got this.
We're gonna do this. Out of Alcatraz #2 comes out tomorrow. I think I talked about issue 1 when it came out. I love this comic. Really, really good. This is by Christopher Cantwell, art by Tyler Crook, and this is just a really, really great like crime noir story. Also retro, set in the does it say the year at the beginning? I don't think it does, but it is set like in the beginning of the 20th century, about two guys that break out of Alcatraz prison and kind of go on an adventure, and they're trying to lay low, and a guy gets murdered, and it's just really really great character writing. Um, Highly recommend it. There's a second printing of issue 1 also coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So oh, it looks so different from the other books. Is that the Mummy book? Yes, it does look different from the other Mummy book, or from the other Universal Monsters books.
Yeah.
But Out of Alcatraz, definitely check it out. All right.
And if you're seeing this, Bess, you're doing an amazing job of editing it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks awesome.
It's really good. I really like it.
Yeah.
All right, final book. Actually, my favorite book of the week. This is Moonshine Bigfoot. This is there's an interesting credits on this one. It is written and inked by Zach Howard.
Interesting.
It's also written by Mike Marlin and pencils by Steve Ellis. So they got like a kind of an interesting
Team.
like team set up. Zach, I know I follow Zach on Facebook, and he's a really really good artist in his own right. So I imagine this is just like I kind of appreciate like the old school like just like putting together a bullpen of people to like crank out this book.
Oh, sure.
You know, so this making a comic book is a lot of work. I don't know if you know that, Susie.
Oh man, I have no idea how much work
Yeah.
it is. Crazy.
But this is a really fun book. It's got like again, it's not like retro in the way some of those other books are retro, but it's very 1970s. The main character, like look, cool cars.
Oh my gosh.
The main character is a Bigfoot who runs moonshine in like the Pacific Northwest.
That's rad as heck.
Right, I know, and he's got like a hippie girlfriend, and sheriff is chasing
She's
them.
painting her nails during a car chase.
Mm-hmm. And then you have this like super team of like cryptid hunters. It's really really good. I love the art. It's just exciting. Each page is really dense too. Like this is such a full story, but also really action packed. Just looks great.
Yeah, all the layouts are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Chupacabra. Yeah, very very
Incredible.
cool. Sorry, I'm running out of gas. I think I'm down to my final few breaths. But I wish I could speak more about Moonshine Bigfoot. But
Yes.
definitely favorite book of the week.
It does give a hint of those underground comics vibes.
Yeah,
I
that's
could
kind
see
of what I
that.
was thinking. Like it definitely has like that. I don't know, just that edge to it. Like
Yeah, that sense of humor as well.
Mhm.
Like it kind of like leans into. It knows it's a bit silly,
yeah,
and in that way, you could even treat it even seriouser. Like,
right, right. No, I love it. So definitely be on the lookout for this one. Best book of the week. All right, everybody. I'm out of breath. I'm done. Thank you.
well, thank you guys so much for checking out our stream. And just so you know, you could always stop by our store. We have those free comics available for Superman Day, still from last Friday. But there is a comic book for everyone. And if you don't get it here, get it at your local comic book store. But mainly come
get it from
here
us. Yeah.
because we are obviously amazing in our personalities, and knowledge, and taste.
Yeah, that was a pretty good. That was a pretty good sign off. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.